Hey guys, what is up? This is Matthew Davis, me once again. Welcome back to another movie review, aka After I Saw. This time it is going to be on Minions, The Rise of Gru. Now, Minions, The Rise of Gru is the delayed sequel that was delayed over and over. You know why, okay? You know why this movie was delayed. But I think this is one of the last biggest movies to come out during 2020, but got pushed back over and over. I think this is one of the last big major releases that was supposed to get released back, but that's beside the point. It's finally here, and I wasn't really that hyped for it because, well, whatever. First off, in Minions: The Rise of Gru, we follow Gru, the young version of Gru. After the events of the first Minions movie, he hires the Minions as his minions. And from there, he wants to join a group called the Vicious Six after the leader of the Vicious Six gets kicked out of the group. And he wants to try to get recruited as the next villain and wants to become like the greatest villain of all time. But they reject him, and he steals this stone that might make him change their minds and take him back. But things happen when one of the main minions, the new main minions called Otto, trades the stone for a pet rock. And from there, Gru gets kidnapped, and it's the bad guy from the Vicious Six. I guess that's a spoiler, but long story short, yeah. But I don't think kids are really going to care for the plot of the movie. Now, I like Minions, okay? Specifically the characters of Minions, I really don't mind them. I can see why people find them annoying. I mean, they're everywhere. You see Minions like everywhere nowadays. Ever since the 2010s, the Minions have just been taking over everything, like literally. And my dad is a huge fan of the Minions. I mean, just look back there. You know, that plush toy actually used to be mine that I got from King's Dominion, but when I was moving, I gave it to him because, you know, I just figured, why not, even though I wasn't going to be leaving him forever. But yeah. Unfortunately, my dad really did not like this movie. So I thought it was going to be like, it was going to please like almost all fans of the Minions, but when you don't even please my own dad, that is quite a shocker. But now, when I reviewed the first Minions movie, I gave it like a huge amount of praise. I gave it a 4.5 out of 5 when that movie I just forgot it the more I thought about it. Like, I don't know, I think it's pretty mediocre, and I think it's one of Illumination's weakest films. That's another thing, I'm not really a big fan of Illumination. The only movies of theirs that I really cared for were the first two Despicable Me movies. The Lorax is kind of a guilty pleasure, but that's definitely not really that memorable either. Same with Secret Life of Pets. I used to have liked that movie, but again, grew less on me. I never watched any of the Sing movies. I didn't watch the sequel to Secret Life of Pets, and I don't like Hop. So yeah, but I'm not gonna lie, this movie wasn't that bad in my opinion. In fact, I could say I kind of like this movie a bit more than that. There is some stuff that I really did like about the movie. It's not very long. It's only 1 hour and 27 minutes, which is a very reasonable time. Steve Carell is still great as Gru, and the fact that he's playing a much younger version of Gru, I thought he was very entertaining. I honestly liked seeing mini Gru. I thought he was hilarious. I think he was easily the show stealer, and he was the main part. And that's one thing that Minions didn't really have. Like, Gru didn't show up, spoiler alert, until the very, very, very end of the movie, just before the credits rolled. And I thought it just didn't feel right without Gru. And just having Gru back, I thought he was very, very entertaining, because I've always liked the character of Gru. I thought he was a very entertaining character. I loved Steve Carell's performance, and there are other characters in here. There's one played by Michelle Yeoh, who I also thought was pretty good in the movie, and many others too. And the movie has some callbacks to the very first Despicable Me that definitely does make this movie feel more like a prequel, because the first movie was a prequel, but it felt a lot more like a spin-off. And once again, like I mentioned before, Bob, Stuart, and Kevin are the main minions once again. So I think it's kind of cool that, they're the main characters again. So it's mostly more about them and not like every other minion. Like, it's not like the whole group of minions or whatever. But does this movie have problems? Yes, it absolutely does. Um, I mean, if you're not really a Minions fan, then you're just going to be completely annoyed to death with the Minions. But the movie does focus on Gru a lot, and I honestly there's a few different plot points, and there's one involving Gru with the kidnapper that isn't really much of a kidnapper, but yeah, I mean, of course the Minions are trying to save Gru, but there are times where Gru doesn't really seem like he wants to be saved, and the Minions are trying to learn like Kung Fu to go up against the villain or whatever, and yeah, like that's actually going to work. But also, I think another big problem is that the trailer just gave away way too much. I mean, you kind of knew where the story was headed because the trailer just gave away so much that you pretty much know how the movie is going to end, and you know what's going to happen like in the middle. I mean, not all of it, but yeah. Also, the movie definitely still aims towards the younger audience, and I feel like younger audiences are definitely going to enjoy this movie a lot more than parents. I mean, parents might get a few chuckles or two. My parent didn't, but I don't know. Maybe they might get completely annoyed, or maybe they'll just go see Elvis while they put their kids in the theater while they go see Elvis or Black Phone again, which I am going to be seeing Black Phone a second time. I really cannot wait for that. And also, there are some times where the logic in the movie kind of doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And there are some appearances, some minor character appearances that appeared in the first Despicable Me, and actually both Despicable Me movies, which I'm not going to spoil. But yeah, I'm trying my best not to spoil everything. I mean, I don't really think it fully matters here, but I don't know. I have said that so many times, but in the end, guys, Minions: The Rise of Gru definitely has issues, but I walked out having myself a pretty good time. Okay, I will admit though, the 10 minutes, like the first 10 minutes, I thought were kind of like, okay, you don't get the Minions immediately, so, but whatever. It definitely has problems, but for me, I didn't mind it, okay? It has some good enough laughs, it has some good references to the original Despicable Me series that definitely makes this movie feel more like a prequel than the first Minions did, but parents might have a few chuckles. This movie isn't, like, insanely offensive, and while there are a few fart jokes, there isn't any times where the movie is just treating kids like, well, I mean, the movie it's ridiculous, but if that's what kids came to see, then they're definitely going to get that. And I kind of, I don't know, it's a movie that I don't see myself watching again, but it's definitely a film that does do stuff a little bit better than what the first movie did. I mean, it doesn't have as much Minions in it. Don't expect the movie to be fully about Minions. It focuses a lot more on Gru than it does the Minions. Actually, it's half Gru, half Minions. I mean, the movie's called The Rise of Gru, so that's what you should expect. So this movie, I didn't mind it. Okay, it's certainly not one that I would say is as rewatchable, but take your kids to see it. It's definitely not going to do anything to harm them. Just make sure they don't do anything that the Minions do. Yeah, I was kind of surprised. Yeah, I don't really know what there is much to say. All I can say is that it's one of Illumination's slightly better movies. I even liked it a bit more than the third Despicable Me movie, which, yeah. Alright, but anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Cannot wait for Thor: Love and Thunder, obviously seeing that next week. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. See you guys later. Word out.